Now at 6, Senator Mike Braun is on campus tonight. We'll tell you why he's here and what he had to say.
And Hurricane Dorian is barreling towards the U.S. We have the latest on the damage done and the preparation for more.
A cooler day across our area, but will the cool temperatures stick around? I'll have all the latest coming up.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom, Newslink Indiana starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here with us on this Wednesday night. I'm Tyler Brummett.
And I'm Zoe DeWiggins.
And we begin tonight with a visit from Senator Mike Braun. He's currently visiting with Ball State President Jeffrey Mearns. The two are discussing a variety of topics tonight, including healthcare and secondary education. Senator Braun stopped by the new College of Health building and spoke with Newslink Indiana.
This is one of the fun parts of being a U.S. Senator, actually seeing what happens in the real world, whether it's visiting schools that educate the next generation or visiting all the entrepreneurs and business owners that make this state a good place to live.
This is a regular course of what we do, is reaching out to people who have an interest in what's happening at Ball State, and certainly he's a very important member of that group.
Now, both President Mearns and Senator Braun hope topics discussed today can continue to be talked about moving forward.
And the search for a missing Gas City girl has come to a tragic end. 10-year-old Skyla Carmack's body was found in a plastic trash bag in a shed behind her home. Indiana State Police arrested the girl's stepmother, 34-year-old Amanda D. Carmack. Carmack faces preliminary charges of murder, neglect, strangulation, and domestic battery. Police said evidence shows Skyla was strangled on August 31st, the same day her family reported her missing.
I can't wrap my mind around why you would kill a 10-year-old child. I said it earlier, it's just an act of cowardice. If you find yourself in that state of anger or whatever precipitated this event, step away. Do whatever you have to do to regain your composure. But it's just mind-boggling to me that anyone could injure or even and eventually kill a young child, only 10 years of age.
6 other children from the home were also removed and placed with the Department of Child Services. Funeral services for Skyla have not yet been announced.
Also tonight, Indiana will receive a $21 million grant for drug overdose prevention efforts. The Indiana State Department of Health will receive the money from the CDC over a 3-year period. Some of the funds will go toward getting timely data on drug overdose patients treated at hospital emergency departments. Part of the grant will also improve Indiana's prescription drug monitoring program. Finally, the remainder of that money will go toward creating online opioid prescribing courses for emergency and medical officials.
Less than half of Indiana students met the expected achievement levels on the state's new standardized test. This has forced the state's top educator, State Superintendent Jennifer McCormick, to revitalize her call for change on how those results will be used to rate schools and teachers. 47.9% of students in grades 3 through 8 met proficiency levels for language arts and 47.8% for math, both down more than 10 percentage points from last year's passing rates for the previous ISTEP exams. McCormick says iLearn uses tougher standards to measure progress. And now turning to weather, it has been a beautiful week so far. I really appreciated it not being in the 80s, but I'm excited to see what we're going for this week. I'm ready for the fall weather.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the weather that we've seen the past few days, and we're hoping that that weather will stick around. Newslink Indiana Chief Weather Forecaster Peyton Domschke is in tonight. Peyton, is it going to continue?
You know, Tyler and Zoe, it was a cool day, and that's going to be the trend over the next few days as well. You can see right here on radar, as well as just temperatures in general, being a lot cooler than we saw 24 hours ago at this exact time. And taking a look across McKinley Avenue right now, temperatures in the mid-70s. It is a tad breezy outdoors, but it is a beautiful night, and that's going to continue. Temperatures right now, again, mid-70s. A little bit cooler situated to our northern portions of our viewing area, but for the most part, again, a cool night is in store, and it's been more fall-like in nature, and it's not too far away. We're actually only 13 days away from the start of fall, and I will have all the latest coming up in my full forecast on when those temperatures will really stick around and if fall is really on its way.
All right, Peyton, we're looking forward to it. Thank you. Meanwhile, Dorian is done with the Bahamas. Now the storm is barreling towards the U.S. The massive storm has Florida and the Carolinas preparing for the worst. Very heavy rain and dangerous flooding is expected along the southern east coast. Nadia Romero is in Jacksonville, Florida tonight with the very latest on where the storm is headed next.
Some communities along the Florida coast beginning to breathe a little easier as Hurricane Dorian lashes them with wind and rain, but passes by without making landfall.
We were absolutely expecting the worst at the very beginning of this.
Still, the danger isn't over for some parts of the state.
The winds will have some impact, but I'm really worried about these surges.
And the forecast now putting the Carolinas on high alert.
Even though it's off the coast now, get dangerously close to South Carolina, North Carolina, just riding right up the coastline here. And that's where we're going to see the winds pick up, and that's where we're going to see the dangerous storm surge as well.
Cities like Charleston have made preparations and warned residents.
Those that decide not to evacuate have to understand that if they call for emergency assistance, there may come a time when first responders can't reach them.
Dorian's worst so far was unleashed on the Bahamas, and they are facing the grim after effects of the strongest hurricane to ever hit the island nation. The U.S. Coast Guard has been flying over the Bahamas to survey the damage, and they're assisting with rescues.
I think there's going to be a significant amount of needs in terms of medical needs, sheltering needs, security needs, and then food for folks.
In Jacksonville, Florida, I'm Nadia Romero.
And while the U.S. prepares for the worst, the Bahamas are recovering in what they say is the island's worst disaster in recent history. These are images from the Abaco Islands in the Bahamas. This area endured winds of more than 300 kilometers per hour, battering the region. It is believed that more than 13,000 homes have been damaged or destroyed, and it is feared that the death toll will rise significantly. Right now, 7 people are confirmed dead, including an 8-year-old boy, and dozens of others are injured. The focus for emergency teams now is to search for those who may be trapped or injured. Much of the Bahamas remains underwater, and boats and jet skis are the only way to reach the affected areas.
The initial reports from Abaco is that the devastation is unprecedented and extensive. They are deeply worrying. The images and videos we are seeing are heartbreaking. Many homes, businesses, and other buildings have been completely or partially destroyed. There is an extraordinary amount of flooding and damage to infrastructure. I wish to report that the United States Guard is already on the ground in Abaco and has rescued a number of injured individuals. Critically injured individuals are being taken to the Princess Margaret Hospital here on New Providence.
We will continue to keep you updated on this storm as it moves up the East Coast.
Friday, students and staff will get to work in the community. Details on the day of action next.
And there's a water rescue in Muncie this week, but not the kind you might think. We'll tell you about the creatures scientists saved and where they'll go next. And now here's a live look at Carolina Beach in North Carolina.